What are the worst, most unreliable engines that you need to stay away from when shopping for a car? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. For this part 1 video, I'm going to go through 5 of the absolute worst engines to stay away from, and I'm also going to have a part 2 video in a few weeks with another 5 engines for a total of 10 altogether. I'm going to primarily focus on some of the worst engines that were put in vehicles between 2010 and 2018, so you know exactly what to stay away from if you're shopping for a used vehicle. The engines I'm going to list in this video don't have any particular order of severity because they're all pretty bad in their own way. All of the engines on this list have an uncomfortably high likelihood of developing very serious repair issues, sometimes resulting in complete engine failure with repair bills upwards of 5 figures. In many cases, it doesn't even matter how diligent you are with your maintenance. These engines are just poorly designed and engineered, resulting in very expensive repair bills, some of which can happen well before 100,000 miles or 160,000 kilometers. So if you want to know what are some of the worst engines that you need to watch out for, then make sure to stick around until the end of this video. Let's get started with number 5 on this list, which is the General Motors ECOTEC 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine. GM's ECOTEC 2.4-liter engine was primarily used in vehicles built between 2006 and 2018. Some of the most popular models in the GM lineup that use these engines include the Chevy Equinox and the GMC Terrain compact crossover SUVs. Now, these were incredibly popular vehicles that sold extremely well and continue to do so today, but the ECOTEC 2.4-liter engine is known for some very serious reliability issues that you definitely need to be aware of if you're shopping for one of these on the used car market. First off, the 2.4 ECOTEC is a direct injection engine, and some direct injection engines are known for severe carbon buildup, which can lead to drivability problems and rough running problems down the road. Unfortunately, carbon buildup is just the beginning of problems that you can find with these engines. The ECOTEC is also known for severe oil consumption, sometimes consuming as much as a quart of oil every 1 to 2,000 miles. In addition to heavy oil consumption, this engine is also known for developing all kinds of various oil leaks, and probably the most severe problem of all, timing chain failure. Failure of the timing chain is a very serious problem that could lead to catastrophic engine failure if it's not addressed early enough. Now, it is possible to find some of these engines running for over 100,000 miles or 160,000 kilometers without developing any of these issues. But even so, the likelihood of developing some of these expensive repair issues is still uncomfortably high, and if it were me, I would just avoid any GM vehicle with this engine altogether. So with that being said, let's move on to engine number 4 on this list, which is Ford's ECOBOOST 4-cylinder engines. Now, ECOBOOST is a marketing term for turbocharged engines, which Ford has now been using across its lineup for over a decade. Now, I don't want to generalize all of Ford's ECOBOOST engines because some of them are actually pretty reliable. For example, Ford has been manufacturing and refining its twin-turbo V6 EcoBoost engines in the F-150 pickup trucks for over a decade now, and these engines have become pretty durable and long-lasting. While there have definitely been many unhappy owners that have had very serious and expensive reliability issues, I wouldn't exactly categorize the twin-turbo V6 as a strictly unreliable engine that you need to stay away from. The 4-cylinder EcoBoost engines used in many other Ford models, on the other hand, are a totally different story. Early versions of the Ford 4-cylinder EcoBoost include a 1.6-liter engine found under the hood of the Ford Escape and Ford Fusion between 2012 and 2015. The 1.6-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder is known for all kinds of serious reliability issues, including engine misfires, various types of oil leaks, coolant and fuel line leaks that sometimes led to engine fires, which caused Ford to issue a recall on this engine. Bottom line, it was just not a very good engine and was quickly replaced by a slightly smaller 1.5-liter engine, as well as a 2-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine, which are more widely used across the Ford lineup. Ford also offers a 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine, which is used in the Ford Mustang and a few of the SUVs too. The 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine is known for a variety of issues as well, including engine overheating, coolant leaks, and cylinder head gasket failure. Given all the issues with the 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine, it's just pretty hard to recommend any vehicle that uses one. If you're still dead set on buying a vehicle that uses one of these engines though, make sure it's been properly maintained above and beyond Ford's recommendations, and try and buy the newest one possible. Ford made a lot of updates to the EcoBoost engines over the years and solved some of the earlier reliability issues, so the newer one that you can buy, the better. Now, modern gas engines are not the only ones that can be affected by serious reliability problems. Sometimes modern diesel engines can be just as bad, if not worse. And number 3 on this list is a great example of that, which is the Ram and Jeep 3-liter EcoDiesel V6. The 3-liter EcoDiesel first came out back in 2014, where it was first introduced in the Ram 1500 pickup and the Jeep Grand Cherokee. As is the case with a lot of the modern and complicated diesels, these engines can develop all kinds of serious and expensive reliability problems that can make them a total nightmare to own. One of the problems with this engine includes oil cooler failure, which can cause coolant to mix with engine oil, leading to engine problems down the road. This engine can also have leaking exhaust couplers and EGR cooler cracks, which could potentially lead to engine fires, which caused Ram to issue a recall of over 100,000 vehicles. On top of the various leaks which could lead to potential engine failure on their own, this engine is also known for a slipping timing gear, which could lead to the failure of the timing chain, causing the pistons and valves to collide, which would destroy the engine too. Most of the issues with the 3-liter EcoDiesel happened in the early years between 2014 and 2015, so those are definitely the ones that you want to watch out for the most. The issues also seem to be more common among those that do a lot of heavy towing, which puts a lot more stress on the engine. Even though the EcoDiesel is rated to tow up to 12,000 pounds in the Ram 1500, this engine is just not good at coping with a lot of added heat and stress. So if you want to maximize the reliability of this engine, you want to buy the newest one possible and also minimize the amount of towing that you do with this engine too. In any case, the best recommendation is just to avoid the 3-liter EcoDiesel altogether and buy a more reliable engine instead. If you're buying a Ram 1500 or a Jeep Grand Cherokee, you're much safer going with the 3.6-liter V6 gas engine or the 5.7-liter Hemi V8. Now, even though every engine on this list so far has been from a North American brand, European or Asian brands are not immune to serious reliability problems either. And number 2 on the list is proof of that, which is the Subaru 2.5-liter Boxer engine. The Subaru engine that's known for having the most issues overall is known as the EJ25, which is a 2.5-liter Boxer engine used from the mid-1990s all the way up to 2021. Even though the EJ25 has been replaced by the newer and more reliable FB 2.5-liter engine in the majority of Subaru models, you can still find the EJ25 in some applications, including the WRX STI. Up until around 2012, however, you could find the EJ 2.5-liter engine in many popular Subaru models, including the Legacy, Outback, and Forester. The most serious problem with this engine was head gasket failure, which caused the coolant and engine oil to mix, which could lead to engine failure down the road. Another major issue with this engine was oil consumption. Many owners reported going through a quart of oil every 1,000 to 2,000 miles, which is definitely not okay. This engine was also known for oil starvation, a camshaft oil seal leak, and even knocking noises from some cylinders due to uneven heating and cooling. It was just a problematic engine as it aged, and many mechanics dreaded working on it too. So if you're thinking of buying a used Subaru, you're much safer buying one of the newer ones built after 2014, which use the much more reliable FB 2.5-liter Boxer engine. And finally, let's move on to the last engine on this list, which is the BMW 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine. Now, the 2-liter turbo engine that I'm going to focus on specifically is codenamed the BMW N20, which was used between 2011 and 2017 in most of BMW's popular models. This includes the BMW 2 Series, 3 Series, and 5 Series sedans, as well as the SUVs like the BMW X1 and X3. During the era between 2011 and 2017, all of these models used the N20 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine, and depending on how unlucky you get, this could be a very expensive and problematic engine to own. One of the more common and serious issues with this engine early on was timing chain failure, which could lead to total engine failure, leading to a $15,000 to $20,000 repair bill for the owner. Even if you aren't unlucky enough to experience total engine failure, there's all kinds of other serious and expensive issues that you could have with this engine. Because of its very complicated high pressure and heat design, which includes both direct fuel injection and turbocharging, this engine could develop issues with its fuel injectors, Vanos unit, turbo failure, charge pipe coolant hoses, and vacuum lines, all of which can be very expensive to repair. This engine is also known for a variety of different oil leaks, including valve cover gasket leaks and oil filter housing gasket leaks too. Now, a lot of these are actually pretty common problems with a lot of European luxury brands, especially those that use direct injection turbocharged engines like the ones found in newer BMWs. Like other European luxury brands, BMWs are known for having very expensive repair costs, which means they're not a great choice for those who are just not tolerant of high repair bills. So if you're planning on buying a used BMW, it's best to consider getting a really good extended warranty, ideally a BMW warranty, so you won't have to be concerned about a lot of expensive issues. It's also best to buy one that comes with very extensive maintenance records, ideally above and beyond what BMW recommends, which could help reduce some of these issues, but probably won't eliminate them entirely. So there you have it, 5 of the worst, most unreliable engines found in modern cars. If you enjoyed this video and want to see part 2, where I go over the next 5 most unreliable engines, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments, and if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.